I wanted to introduce our presenter for today. So Melanie, and I'm going to let Melanie say her last name. I realized I didn't ask her how to pronounce it. And she is from NeighborWorks of Western Vermont, and she works with, they have a program called Heat Squad, which covers all of Southern Vermont, including Windham County. So their reach does include our region. And so Melanie is going to talk a little bit today about their programs and what they offer and how they can help homeowners and help you, since most of you are working with committees that are reaching out to the public, what you might be able to learn and share about their programs with the residents in your communities. So Melanie, I'm going to pass it over to you.
Great. Thank you, Margot. And thanks everybody for joining. I know it's always tricky after a holiday weekend and kids going back to school and it's mayhem, but all good. But thank you. It's Melanie Paskovich. I know it's a tricky name. It's all good. So thank you again. And yes, I'm the, right now my title here is Director of Operations for NeighborWorks of Western Vermont. So I actually have my hands in pretty much every program here. But one of the programs that I do run is Heat Squad, and I actually started it here at NeighborWorks of Western Vermont in 2010. So we've grown. We started with a grant from Department of Energy for just Rutland County, and now we've grown to Heat Squad serving Addison, Rutland, Bennington, Windham, and Windsor, and the Northeast Kingdom. So not all of Vermont yet. We'll see where that goes, but for right now, those are the counties so 8 counties in the state of Vermont, and actually down in Kentucky, but that's a story for another day. So yeah, I'm going to talk about, so just in general, NeighborWorks of Western Vermont, we are a nonprofit homeownership center. We're all about sustainable, affordable homeownership. Just talk about that for a second. We have homebuyer education. We have, of course, Heat Squad. We have home repair, so we help low to moderate income households fix up their home. And we have a lending arm, so we have lenders on staff. We have an energy loan, we have a home repair loan, we have down payment assistance. We also have a realty division. Right now, we don't have a realtor on staff. We're in between. But again, it's all about sustainable, affordable homeownership. Our core service area for NeighborWorks of Western Vermont, just to be clear, is Addison, Rutland, and Bennington. For the core programs, Heat Squad, like I said, we're in 8 counties. Our energy loan, we're actually statewide. So it's a little bit, some are here and some are there, but no, our core service of who we are and what we do is Addison, Rutland, and Bennington. We work also closely with Windham and Windsor Housing Trust. They're a sister organization like we are. They don't have Heat Squad. We're the only one in the state that has a Heat Squad program. But Windham and Windsor Housing Trust is also a homeownership center focused on homeownership and affordability. So I'm here to talk, and if anyone has questions about us in general, please let me know. But I'm here to talk about our Heat Squad program, which is our energy efficiency program. So I'm going to talk about, who we are, what we do, kind of our mission, and I feel how we've been successful at what we do. In a nutshell, Heat Squad is, it's an approachable way to do energy efficiency. So we are heavy with hand-holding, guiding, and being that objective guide for a homeowner through the process to get to energy efficiency. So we start with that energy audit. We have 3 energy auditors on staff now. I have Sally up in the Northeast Kingdom. I have Rick Shappy, who does Addison, Rutland, and Windsor, and then I have Nick Bike, who does Rutland, Bennington, and Windham, a little into Windsor. So Nick will be the auditor that will be serving Windham County. So we have 3 energy auditors. We have a low-cost energy audit. Our audits are $150 up to 3,500 square feet, and then there's additional fees. As the building gets bigger, there's additional fees because it just takes us more time. But an average home, it's $150. And that's a 3 to 4 hour, we're there to do a full comprehensive energy audit. We also have special software that we actually generate the audit report right in the field. We're the only one that really does that, and we can show energy savings. We show, all right, this is the benchmark. We found your house. This is what we recommend to get you. at this energy level, you're going to be saving this every year in annual savings. Here's a financial projection, like a monthly, this is what your, monthly loan payment might be. Here's your energy savings, and then here's rebates you get from Efficiency Vermont. So that's all in that audit report. And we're there, my team is there, like I said, 3 to 4 hours, depending on the house and the situation. We're going in your attic, your basement, inside, outside. With COVID, we're very careful with that. We make sure no one's sick. We wear masks, we wear gloves, we sanitize. We actually ask that only one person is in the household at the time. So we're doing full COVID precautions too, just to be clear. We sanitize all the equipment in between, before and in between, so be clear about that. So we're in the home, we're looking at your energy bills, we're talking, where are your concerns, where are your issues, what have you done to the house? And then we're going to see, all right, how can we answer those concerns? How can we help you address your needs? How can we help you plan, I call it an energy path. Let's talk about your thermal shell. Let's lower your energy load. And let's add on, I think, Keith, you're great. So you add on the heat pumps and the technologies, and then you add on the solar. We all are trying to reduce fossil fuels, saving the environment, but we're also really saving people money, which is so important, especially right now, I think. And we're making homes healthier. I want to be very clear about that too. We're looking at indoor air quality. We're looking at those health and safety issues. So do you have vermiculite? Do you have asbestos, which can be irritants, in your lungs? We're looking, do you have carbon monoxide issues? Are your smoke detectors where they're supposed to be? What is your hot water? How is that heated? Is that safe? Is it vented properly? So, and we're looking at moisture, mold, mildew, because those are all irritants too for indoor occupants. Is your basement got a river running through it, which we do see a lot in Vermont? We've got to get that water out. A lot of this is moisture mitigation too. So we are, making homes healthy. We're making occupants healthy. We're saving money. We're saving the environment, addressing indoor air quality, outdoor air quality, and helping people to, have a comfortable home, have a safer home. You're also increasing your value of your home. And you're giving back to the local economy by employing local contractors, which is win-win-win in my mind. So again, our energy auditors were there for that initial audit to kind of help you understand your house, see what's going on, see where we can help, how can we get you on the path. We present the audit report, we prioritize the work, and then we say, all right, great, what do you want to do? Do you want to do all of it? Do you want to do some of it? Do you want to phase it? I did my basement one year, I did my attic next year, I got rebates both times. So we help people to prioritize it based on their needs, their timeline, and their budget. And so we kind of lay it out, and then we don't do the work. We're objective. We work, we have contractors that we trust and are vetted, and we connect the customer with the contractor and say, all right, contractor, come out, look at the job, give an estimate, and then we present kind of the whole package to the customer. Do you need an electrician? Do you need a plumber? Do you need somebody for solar? Obviously, we're talking about weatherization. Do you need a carpenter? So we help kind of pull all those pieces together and then present it back to the customer. Here it is. Here's what it's looking like. Do you need a loan? We have an energy loan in-house. It's our NeighborWorks of Western Vermont statewide energy loan. It's for all incomes. And it can be renewables, it can be heating systems, it can be solar, obviously weatherization. So we can wrap that all into an energy loan. We are also taking part of the Efficiency Vermont, what do they call it now? Home energy loan, which is a reduced interest rate. If you're moderate to lower income, you get a lower interest rate, which is a great deal for a lot of customers. So we can kind of help so our auditors tie all that together. Do you need financing? Great. Here's some contractors. Great. Here's some estimates. Here's your total work scope. When can you start? Let's start. And then we can help customers through that whole process. We offer to customers, if they want us to pay contractors, we can for them. So then we're overseeing the job. We're making sure everything looks good before a contractor gets paid. We submit for those rebates from Efficiency Vermont, which hopefully everyone knows is going down as of October 1st, which is unfortunate. It's been really aggressive and pretty nice, but as October 1st, moderate or market rate customers, this is for home performance, so it's weatherization. It's half the project cost, up to $1,000 is the rebate for moderate income households and higher. If you're moderate to low income, it's half your project costs up to $4,000, which is pretty good. So they're good rebates. Those start October 1st. So we help to submit for the rebates. We make sure the job is done. It's done right. It's done to what you paid for. So quality review. We do 100% quality review of our projects. We're the only one in the state that does that because we do it objectively, right? We didn't do the work. So we're going to make sure your work is done to code, to Efficiency Vermont standards, and that you can get those rebates. If you work with just a contractor and they're with Efficiency Vermont, they qualify their own work. So we're a little different in that an objective person comes in to qualify the work and make sure it's done and done right. So, and if financing, again, we can help kind of, here's the application. It's all in-house. It's super easy. The lenders here will let you know within 24 to 48 hours if you've pre-qualified. Super easy turnaround, and it is statewide all incomes. And Heat Squad, again, is 8 counties, but it's all incomes. We do have some customers that call and they might be really low income. We are always going to say there's SEVCA, if they're down in Windham County or Windsor County. We'll always refer them to a weatherization agency because that's free work if they income qualify. So it's Brock in my territory, it's SEVCA. In your territory, it's NIDO up in the Northeast Kingdom. So we have a pretty good relationship. Sometimes they'll send us their customers that don't qualify for their project, or sometimes we'll kind of hook up and help customers. They do the weatherization and we do the shell, and that's a little complicated. But we do work with the weatherization agencies to make this work for customers. And I also will make it work with Windham and Windsor Housing Trust. If they have a customer, they're doing home repair and weatherization, we can team up together on that too. So just so you know that we're pretty aware of the different programs and offerings out there. And if a customer is going to actually do better, and maybe it's free service or there's rebates over here to help you, we're totally going to make sure that the customer is getting the best deal of what's in the market. So I talked about residential. We also can do small business. We also can do building performance. So we can do energy audits on, we just did an energy audit on a church in Norwich. We've done libraries, big buildings like hospitals and schools. We don't get into big buildings, usually 5,000 square, well, actually, no, 10,000 square feet and under. We will do, but big buildings, Efficiency Vermont is really better to do that. But we can do small business. We can do apartments up to 5 units and under. We can do, if it's 5 units and over, really you should call 3E Thermal. They're great with apartments and multifamily. But we do apartments, duplexes, condos, dog houses if people choose. We can do any type of house. And most buildings, but again, 10,000 square feet and under is really kind of our nugget. So yeah, so it's helping customers to tie all those pieces together, get contractors that they might need to understand, the work scope, and then to just help them through the project. And then if they want to come back for phase 2, well, we're here to help you with phase 2. Okay, you want to do phase 3 because you want to add heat pumps? Yeah, let's help you with that too. So we kind of can help tie those pieces together, and either they want to do it all at once, they want to spread it out, but we're here to help with any of those different, phases or way to prioritize. And just remember that, again, we're that objective guide. So we're helping people objectively. I'm not selling a bunch of foam. I'm not selling, I want you to do this. I want you, customer, to be happy and to answer your concerns. And maybe it's just they need to do their daughter's bedroom and it's super cold. All right, let's focus on that. But did you know over here you have no insulation in your basement, and that would totally help? Or you got water over here. So, we will definitely address those issues of the customer, but we also are there to educate about other things that are happening in the house and how we can maybe help fix different areas they didn't even think about or realize. We can kind of help tie all those pieces together.
Melanie?
Yep, go ahead. Yep.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
I'm just curious about your audits that you do. Do they involve any infrared scanning of
I
any
should.
type?
Thank you. Yeah. Yes, we absolutely do infrared. We do the blower door, so we're depressurizing the house to see where those leaks are and how big. We do infrared imaging. Of course, there's got to be a 20-degree temperature difference between inside and out to really, show the blue and the red. So this time of year, it's really kind of hard. Summer, if you've air conditioned, it's colder inside than outside, I can kind of do it. Winter, of course, inside is warmer than outside. So yes, we do infrared. If sometimes we'll have customers that'll do their audit now and we can't do infrared, we'll go back and do infrared for them at a time when we can get that temperature difference. But
do you also do any moisture level testing of materials?
Yeah, so they've got the bi-pin moisture meter. They all have it, and they do test it to some degree. I wouldn't say it's a deep dive for sure. They do test when needed and when necessary, and sometimes the infrared can actually show leaks in the walls too, if there's some moisture issues. A lot of it's just evidence, and you can see it for the most part. But yeah. Thank you.
Melanie, I had a question.
Yep.
So you'd mentioned that there's a small fee for the initial audit. And then if someone, so then someone gets an audit report and they want to keep moving and they want to actually then tackle a project.
Yep.
Does that work cost extra with you, or is that
Yes.
part of that initial? So
yes, good question, Margot. Thank you, because I'm glad you brought that up. So the 150 that's just the audit, right? We're there 3 to 4 hours. My audits actually cost $600 to do, but we're only charging $150. So if a customer, so there's different choices, and I'm about ready to launch some new models. I think next January. So there's Heat Squad Comprehensive, which means it's 150 for the audit, and then if a customer chooses to have Heat Squad guide them through the project and be that really get all the different contractors and present a full scope of work and have the customer pay us and we pay the contractor, really being there to oversee and then do the quality review and then the test out and get the rebates. That chunk of the work, we do charge a fee. It's based on the weatherization work scope. We charge a fee for us to do that portion of the, to help guide that portion of the work. So again, it's that objective guide and help them through the process and being there hand holding it as a fee based on the work scope. If a customer chooses to, let's say, do it themselves, they want to do some work themselves, which is fine as long as they fully understand what they're getting into and they understand what needs to happen and be the end result and what we're trying to get to. Or they choose their own contractor, or they've got somebody who's, whomever over here that's doing the work. And they don't need us for that part, but they want us for the rebates at the back end. It's a liability on our head that's saying this work was done to code and to blah, blah, blah. We were not involved, so I charge $350 on the back end for that situation. Again, we do quality review for that, and we make sure that I'm going to look at your work scopes, and we're going to make sure the work was done to what this contractor said, or if it's DIY, we're going to make sure it was done to Efficiency Vermont's code. If we have to go back a second time, like that does happen with DIYers a lot. They didn't put intumescent paint. Maybe they did a foam, froth pack, and they didn't put intumescent paint, which has to be on there to get rebates. I'll have to come back a second time to do the blower door. I don't charge again. It's only one fee. Or maybe you have to hit a 10% air reduction from beginning to end to get the rebates. Sometimes we'll find customers DIY, they're like at 9. It's like, okay, hey, do this and this and this, and I'm going to come back again. We don't charge a second fee for that. But it is $350 for us to, basically, we're signing off to say this work was done to code, and it's a liability on my side. But then we're getting those rebates for those customers. Next year, I'm going to be launching, actually, I have a program right now for Bennington, Rutland, Northeast Kingdom. It's called Heat Squad Light, where we just do a quickie blower door at the beginning and we do a quickie blower door at the end to get those customer rebates. It's when a customer has a contractor and doesn't need Heat Squad and doesn't want an audit. So I am going to be launching that next year, I think early next year. So it's somebody who doesn't need the full audit. They kind of know what they want to do. They already have a contractor. They're really just looking for somebody to help them get the rebates, and this is an easy way to get access. We do make sure things are to code and that they aren't missing some health and safety. Like the bath fans have to be vented to the outside. Your dryer vent has to be vented to the outside. You know, we are looking at health and safety, whatever model we're doing. But I am going to be launching, it's called Heat Squad Lite, where it's really helping contractors to get rebates for their customers. But I don't have that down in Windham County at this point in time. But yeah, those are the fees. Thank you for asking, for sure.
Melanie, it's Guy.
Okay.
Is the 350, is that the same price when folks have to come back to do the quality review, or is that an additional fee?
No, so that 350 is only when Heat Squad's not involved in the project,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
And so they've got their own contractor, they figured out their own work scope, they've kind of done it themselves, and they say, all right, my job's done, I want you to come out and get me rebates. So we do that quality review to make sure, okay, customer, you got what you paid for. We make sure the work's to code, and then we submit for rebates. That's the 350. Now, if a customer uses us, you know, for that comprehensive piece that we're helping them with contractors, we're helping them to get contracts signed, we're paying the contractors, and then we do QA and we do the test out and get the rebates. That's included in that fee. There's no extra fee on top of that.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah. I know.
Is there a waiting list now?
We have not been this busy. I've never seen it this busy right now. It's crazy. For the month of July, which is a dead month, and with COVID, it should be particularly dead. Last July, we had 30 calls for energy audits. This July, we had 115. It's crazy. You know, I think people have been pent up. I think people are home, right? And they've seen things, you know, maybe feeling those drafts, or, you know, they're looking at the things they've been meaning to do and wanting to do, and now they have time to do it. And also the rebates have never been this high right now. Right. I don't even want to tell you what they are because it doesn't matter. They're changing October 1st. It doesn't really matter. They just lowered them on us last week. So contractors are out right now about 3 months. So contractors are super busy. We're booked out into, you know, from the audit side, we're booked out into October. But contractors are booking now into 2021 for work. It's nutty. I've never seen it this crazy. Between the heat pump rebates being the highest I've ever seen, being Efficiency Vermont's rebates have never been this high. And then they added, Efficiency Vermont did a payment coverage for the first 6 months, or $900 of the home energy loan. Efficiency Vermont made those payments on somebody's energy loan, but that's going away October. I think that's going away in October too.
Melanie, you mentioned the October 1st date. Just in order to qualify for the full rebate before the reduction, what do you have to do? Do you have to have the work completed by then?
You have to have it completed and then test it out and submit it in Efficiency Vermont's online.
By October 1st.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's just, yeah, I got a crazy next 3 weeks. So we're working, I think, nights and Saturdays and weekends. Yeah,
Bill, I think you had a question.
He's muted.
Yep.
Bill, you're muted.
Okay, sorry. How recently did they make the decision to lower the incentives by October 1?
Yeah, I heard about it. They've been whispering about it, but I actually heard a date and what it is last Friday.
Last Friday. Wow. Okay.
Quick.
Yeah.
I kind of publicized the earlier incentives to some folks around town.
I know. I'm sorry. Yeah,
it's a bit grown now.
It hit us. I had a rough weekend. Yeah, it hit us. Yeah, late Friday.
Okay, thank you.
We knew it was going down, and they always did say it's first come, first serve, and until the rebates change. They were very clear about that. What I wasn't aware is that the market rate, which is higher income folks, I was never aware that was going down. They never mentioned that. It was always half the project cost up to 2,000. And now as of October 1st, it's half the project cost up to 1,000 for market rate or higher income. So that I wasn't aware of at all. But I knew the low moderate was going to go down. They had said the end of this year, but it's overprescribed. They had 200 projects complete, over like 210 projects in the month of August, where they did in a year for 2019, they did like 700 projects, and they had 200 projects complete in 1 month. So yeah, it just got overprescribed. That's kind of unfortunately.
But
Yeah.
that's what we want.
What was that?
They should be so delighted that so many people took advantage of it that they just keep on going.
Well, that's the story I think we need to tell our legislature, the governor, that, you know, more money needs to be allocated for weatherization than is. If we want to hit these aggressive comprehensive energy goals, I don't even know what date, I think they're 2050 now, we have to back it up with rebates and incentives and be aggressive about it. If they want us to be aggressive about it, we need to show. So I'm hoping this tells that story, right? And the moderate income, the numbers are huge because, you know, that's the higher incomes are for moderate income. I've known that because our customers, 60% of our customers are moderate income, which is not home performance, that's not the weatherization customers that normally do work. It's usually the higher income. So I'm hoping that this tells that story, like what is that threshold that's going to get people to move?
Mm-hmm.
And so it has been 75% of the project cost up to 5,500. Is that what's going to get people to move? Yes. Now they're going to lower it back to half the project cost up to 4,000, which had been the rebate structure, I think, before this summer. And I saw movement. So I think it's just, we all have to figure out where's that sweet spot. And I think somewhere in there is the sweet spot. So I hope they just continue to tell the story. And also the payment coverage for the energy loans. I have wanted to do that for years. So we have had a huge uptake for people taking out an energy loan with this payment coverage. So I think that's another, and that's moderate income too. So I think that's another story to tell. So I think we all have to say, boy, look at what this did. We need more money to help with this, you know, to get more people to move. So yes, Nancy, I think it's the story we all have to tell and beat people ahead with.
Melanie, Jim Hand.
Hey, Jim.
So that that's an interesting discussion because fuel prices are relatively low. So that's not what's driving it, which is an interesting change, I think. Or at least maybe we have always been putting it on that, and maybe that's not the right thought.
I don't think so, right?
And
yeah,
so
then go ahead.
Could we also, I know there's always limited budgets, but it's always bothered me a bit in that we have to put so much money into fuel assistance that just keeps the problem going.
Right.
So is there a way, and I know you've thought about this before, but it's always bothered me, is there some way to get those folks who are depending on the fuel assistance money to get them, if they're owners, it's a little harder with the renters, to direct that money into keeping this pot sweet that you're talking about and getting that work done?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. It used to be there was like $16–17 million a year, as I recall. I have no idea what it is right now. Well, we always have this argument every year at the legislature and at the federal level of doing that. And all we're doing is continuing the problem.
Right.
By never getting those folks improved, their buildings improved.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's supposed to be that when someone gets, and I'm not in the weatherization agencies like I used to be, but it's supposed to be that someone gets fuel assistance, they have to go on the list for the free weatherization service. Like that's a given, or vice versa. You know, I think that's happening, but they all have a, well, I don't know, 1 to 2 year wait list. I don't know how that, I know they got more funding this year. Maybe they're not as bad, but they always have a wait list and they have a point scoring system. So We actually did a pilot where we took, people that were on the fuel assistance, and we had some grant money. And so we took that list and we stuck in a heat pump to show if you reallocate money, from that pot of money into putting in heat pumps, it's actually, you save money as a program if you shifted it over there.
Exactly.
It was a little program, it was a little thing, and I tried to, but it didn't go like the way I wanted it to. But I do think there's some shifting of funding that could tell a good story,
Because otherwise we just keep, coming up with this argument every year about how much we're going to do for assistance, and we're just continuing the nightmare. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Yep, you're right, Jim. So yeah, I think we're in an interesting time now. And you think with COVID and job loss, I thought, oh man, we're gonna have a rough fall. But it tells me, I think Vermonters were a little more isolated from rolling economies anyway. But that people are wanting to do work. Of course, we do have some out-of-staters that are moving in. I'm sure we've all heard about that. And we are finding that's a nugget of these customers. They bought their Vermont home, they're moving up here, they're doing energy efficiency. That's definitely a group. But the other group, and people are crawling out of the woodwork. Customers I did audits for 6, 7, 8 years ago. Melanie, I'm ready now. I have the funding. I'm ready now. Makes more sense now. But it's the rebates. It's the rebates and all the offerings that are on the table. It's getting people to at least come back to the table and do something. So it is telling a great story. And I'm pleading with everyone to just talk to anyone you can, and let's write that story. Let's publicize that story. And I know there's different groups that are going after some weatherization bonds and funding that we're part of. But it is a good story to tell, and I don't know what next year would look like. I'm a little worried about next year because they are going down the rebates, but hopefully we can keep up the momentum and keep telling the story. And maybe there'll be some CARES relief funding, maybe, who knows, about that as well. So I wanted to, now Jim, you're Bennington County. Unfortunately, I don't have this program in every county. But in Bennington and Rutland County, I actually have a stove replacement program that we can take out cordwood stoves and put in wood or pellet stoves. Again, this is Bennington and Rutland. Aggressive rebates up to $3,800 off a new cord or wood or pellet stove that meets EPA 2020. It's more efficient, it's safer. In addition, I can do a free energy audit if you're low to moderate income, and I can layer on $1,200 on top of the rebates from Efficiency Vermont. And I have another program for Bennington County. I can layer on another $1,000 on top of that. So I need to blow Bennington County out of the water, Jim, and I may be in touch with you separately.
Yeah.
But I have a lot I can offer down in Bennington County in rebates and different programs. I also got some COVID CARES money to do rental rehabs down there that I'm launching too. So I have a lot down in Bennington County that I'm really trying to make a difference and do some extra work down there. Fortunately, I don't in Windham County because there's other great programs out there. Windham and Windsor Housing Trust, they're doing a lot of work, and Efficiency Vermont has a stove change-up program. And so I can't touch down there, but I can touch Rutland and Bennington with my wood stove.
Melanie, are there rebates available if it's not a replacement stove, if it's a new stove?
I do believe Efficiency Vermont has rebates. I tell customers to go to their website. And I should also, my program again, which is Bennington and Rutland, I'm about ready to also move into the Northeast Kingdom. It's change out and no one that's burned wood or pellets. It's a way to reduce their fossil fuel. I can give them up to $2,400 if they're putting in a wood or pellet stove. The Efficiency Vermont program, I believe they have that too, but last I heard it was up to $750 or $800 for rebates if they've never burned wood or pellets before and they're putting, I don't know if it's cordwood or just pellet. I don't have their program too much in my head, but I do know they have, and I think they have biomass, pellet boiler rebates. I think there's 3,000 or 6,000 in rebates for that too through Efficiency Vermont. I just tell people that if they're not in my counties, I'm helping. I refer people back to Efficiency Vermont because I do believe they have rebates for that right now.
Melanie, did you, going back to the services that the Heat Squad can provide, did you tell us how much or sort of the range of price for getting a comprehensive, where the Heat Squad does, you know,
The
whole
service.
deal? Yeah.
Yeah, the service after the audit. So what we charge is 15% of the weatherization cost. So it just depends on what the weatherization scope is.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we'll go a little less based on the situation, if we're not going to be involved much, but 15% is the maximum we would charge
Okay.
based on a weatherization cost. So, you know, our average project is about $8,000.
Mm-hmm.
If we do the math, that's kind of what average we charge for that service that we do.
Okay.
But we can be negotiable too.
Okay.
Yeah, it takes a lot of time. So what we do, I'm sorry. What we do, it's a lot of one-on-one and hand-holding and back and forth. It does take a lot of people time. And I'm not sure everyone understands that, but to get, you know, not the believers, I think you guys are all believers on the phone. It's the non-believers, you know, it's a lot of back and forth and not trusting. And is that really what I'm going to save? And, you know, every penny counts. Only 20% of our customers take out a loan. The rest are paying out of pocket. So they really have to be sensitive, you know, with what is spent. Well, I get it. Believe me, I get it. What is spent where. So it's a lot of back and forth. It's a lot of people power to get people to make that decision and to move on. Contractors are not easy. I love them to pieces, but they're busy. They're not structured business-wise. So it's a lot of times, you know, we're tracking them down in the evenings. Hey, Eric, where's that estimate for, you know, Sally Joe? And so it's a lot of back and forth for us to, you know, to help people through that project, which is great. I mean, that's what we're here to do. And that's what our organization is all about, is hand-holding customer service.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to be clear too, Heat Squad, we are not funded by the state. We are not funded by federal. We're not actually funded by anyone. We did have a contract with Efficiency Vermont this year. I've never had one before. But that was only for Rutland, Bennington, and Northeast Kingdom to run a pilot program there. But we are not funded by anyone for Heat Squad. So be clear about that. So it is a fee. It is a fee generating program. Not much. It's enough to keep us gas in the car and lights on, for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you. Yes, Guy. I think you're muted.
There we go. Melanie, one of the things that we're doing in Rockingham is putting together an actual energy plan, not a chapter of a town plan, which is descriptive, but an actual plan. And part of that will be what will be the measures of success. Still maintaining the confidentiality of your clients, is there a way of reporting back to the town work that has been completed?
Oh, sure. Like, we did this many audits in the town of Rockingham, this many projects. Is that what you're asking? Guy?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. We can do that. Yep.
Does that have to be particularly asked, or?
Well, did you want names and addresses or just numbers?
No.
Oh, no.
You just need numbers.
No, I could do that. I don't have to ask. No, I can do that.
As well as completed work?
Yep. I can tell you from my perspective, right? Efficiency Vermont's going to tell you, you know, overall. I'm going to tell you what Heat Squad has done.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. So Heat Squad, you could ask Heat Squad. You could ask Efficiency Vermont, you know, for their numbers too, by town.
Okay.
It's a little
Great.
harder to get from them. They're a little more.
That's why I asked you.
They're a little more protected. With me, I've already talked to my lawyers about this. He's like, no, Melanie, the minute they sign up for you, they kind of release that. I'm like, okay.
Okay.
So yes, I can give you those numbers.
Great.
Sure. Do you want those numbers, Guy? Or
Gee, if they have them for 2019, that'd be great.
just the town of Rockingham?
Yes,
Okay, yeah, let me know.
that would be inclusive of Bellows Falls, Saxons River.
I was gonna say, is that other town in Vermont?
No, we're villages within the town of Rockingham.
Okay, so that'd be Bellows Falls and what did you just say?
Saxons River.
Okay. Yep.
That's terrific. Thanks, Melanie.
Sure. Jim, did you have something?
Well, I didn't want to hog, but you said you had an offer for Bennington. We are about to schedule an energy committee meeting within the next week or so. And I was wondering if maybe if you could do a presentation on the wood stove thing, especially.
I can. I just did one. Didn't I just do one with Madison and?
She'd be out of Bennington probably.
Yeah. No, I can, Jim. Yeah. You'll let me know.
I'll see if I can get Manchester in at the same time.
Sure. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. If I would appreciate that, Jim, because like I
All
said,
right.
I've got big numbers on a Bennington, so I need to.
Okay.
And I'm doing $100 audits down there too for the next 2 months.
Whoa.
So yes, if I could get it out there, that'd be great.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Great. Any other questions? I think what I missed. So putting my head back on from a long weekend. My kids were supposed to start school today, but there was no school today. So I don't know what that was about. But anyway, don't get me started. Very confusing. High school, I don't get it.
Melanie, I was wondering, I know you're flat out with your 3 counties now. Is there any plan in the future or any obstacles in the way that might allow you to do Windsor and Windham counties later on?
For which? For the
Your
woods?
whole program.
Oh, no, we can. So Heat Squad services are available in Windham, Windsor, Addison, Rutland, and Bennington in the Northeast Kingdom. So I am in 8 counties.
Oh, okay.
Yep. It's just some of my offshoots, like this stove program I have, that's not in Windham and Windsor County and never probably will be. But no, my Heat Squad and our energy loan is available statewide. The home energy loan, which is the reduced interest rates that we offer, along with it's Efficiency Vermont's program that we're running for them, along with VSECU and Opportunities Credit Union. That's statewide. So again, energy loan, interest rate buy down, and home energy loan, that's statewide. Heat Squad services are Addison, Rutland, Bennington, Windham, and Windsor in the Northeast Kingdom, so 8 counties. And that's the $150 audit. That's the full service, full suite of services we can do to get people to that end game and get them those rebates and to save money and have a healthier home and yeah, on that energy path.
Yeah, back to the earlier conversation, kind of disturbing that the rebates are shrinking. I know everyone on this call probably feels the same way. But, you know, given the state of the climate and so forth, are there advocates in the legislature that you know of who can actually start to increase rebate levels? You know, where we need to go and shrinking rebate levels just don't tie together in my mind.
Especially the moderate income group, which that's the group we need to help. I've always wanted to help the moderate income more. You know, because they fall in between. There's the free weatherization for low income. Higher income can afford it. It's the middle income Vermonters that I've been on my soapbox for years to give them an extra boost, which is what they have been doing, but that's been going down. So Efficiency Vermont is there. They have a great lobbyist, and they're pushing. I do know there's some other groups. There's I forget what they're called, them Freedom and. I don't know, there's a new weatherization bond request that's being kind of formatted with a bunch of different, like, Burlington Electric, Vermont Gas, there's a bunch of them. So there's different kind of pockets of groups that I think are starting to flare up and say, look at this worked, we need to do more. I think we all need to talk to our state reps and our local legislatures and legislators and talk to them about, hey, we need more funding for weatherization, especially the moderate income, lower income too. But we need more in the way of rebates. But I think we all should get on that bandwagon and request that, because I just don't know when next year's going to look like. I don't think nobody has a crystal ball. But again, telling the story of, boy, the numbers, I've never seen numbers like this. And again, I've been at this 10 years, and some good years too I thought were good, but this is definitely a great year. But I've never seen rebates this high. So boy, doesn't that tell us something? So I think we all have to make that pitch. We all have to, letters to the editor. I think we all have to do that and just keep pushing. While there are some lobbyists I know that are up there pushing, Energy Action Network, I know they're doing what they can do. I think VPIRG is doing whatever. I think there's multiple entities going at this for sure, but I think we all should do our part too and be pushing for this for sure. Not that you haven't been, but continue for sure.
So I'm thinking of writing that letter, and I'm wondering if, am I muted again?
No, you're good. You're good.
Oh, good. Okay. What percentage, what numbers can I use to let people know that these rebates are going down as of October 1st? I mean, what are we saying that?
Well, you know, so the income group, it's 80% area median income to 120% area median income. That's like the moderate income households we're talking about.
Yeah.
Free weatherization can go up to 80% AMI, and I don't have it in my head, but about 80% AMI for a family of 4, I think, is like $58,000, right? So it's pretty low. And 120, I think, for a family of 4 is like 90,000, around there. So it's that income group, and it's AMI is area median income. It's the 80 to 120 or moderate income, low to moderate income group. That's the group we need to help.
Mm-hmm.
And they say that if the rebates can cover, I think it's around 30% of the project cost,
yeah,
you're kind of golden. So then what is that? Or, you know, 50% is actually what it's been, so which is great. You know, I think we just got to maintain, you know, covering, well, I'd say 50% really is a sweet spot, but half of these project costs for customers or more. Average project cost again is about $8,000, and that's an attic and basement project, which that lowers your energy bills about $1,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
You're saving at current prices, well, maybe a little less at current, I suppose. But that's every year, and you're saving about 5,000 pounds of carbon with that one project. On average, these are estimates. Those are the numbers I kind of throw around. And that's $8,000 that's going into the local economy for a local, you know, contractor and materials. So not only is that great helping the environment, it's helping this customer now to save $1,000 a year, but it's also putting money back into the local economy with workforce development and workforce. So I throw around a lot of those kind of numbers and say, you know, we've got to cover, you know, we've got to help this group of, and then there's the energy burden, which I really didn't talk about. You know, the lower your income, the higher the energy burden. There's lots of studies. Efficiency Vermont has released a great energy burden study, and how much it's just, it's not, there's equity, right? We talk about equality and equity right now. I know those are some hot words, but it's true. Equity is an issue. When you're lower income, your energy burdens are, I don't have them in my head, but there's so much more compared to a you know, higher income customer with their energy burden only being this much, but they can afford to fix that. Or this lower income person, when their energy burden is this high, they can really only afford to do this much, and they're still left with this higher energy burden. So, you know, I think equity is a problem here, and we need to work to bridge that, and that's these rebates and lowering interest rates and covering those payments that we, you know, that we just did and told that story. We've got to build that equity into what we're offering to Vermonters, because when it's not there, they're not going to do it. They're going to continue to choose, do I do medical bills? Do I heat the home? Do I pay for food? And they further go, well, anyway, in a downward spiral. But we have to talk about, you know, I think equity here. Energy, we call it energy equity, but you know, that's kind of been my story lately. We just did a pitch for something else about energy equity, because it's not fair, and we need to fill that gap for customers and make it so it is equitable. And the only way to do that is to help cover these costs and help to, and again, I'm talking moderate income, because lower they get free and higher they can afford it. It's this moderate income that we have to build equity.
I've always been an advocate that if carrots are large enough, the sticks become unnecessary.
Yeah.
And I think that does two things. When sticks come about and it hits the low income folks over the head, then it becomes even a double burden.
Right.
But it also, creates a positive energy toward the whole movement in what we're doing. If it's a requirement, you have to do this, then contractors and the public do it begrudgingly. Whereas if there's large enough incentives, it becomes a positive situation where they look at the whole concept of going green as, gee, look what I can get out of this. So
Yep.
it becomes a positive attitude.
Yep. Win-win.
This is Eric Stevens. Thank you very much for your presentation. I have to go to a site visit. More power to you. That's great.
No, thank you. Thank you. And I'm going to send Margot I've got, some loan flyers and kind of a flyer about Heat Squad too. I'll send that to Margot and she can send that out to everybody too as well.
Great.
Jim, did you have something?
Well, I just, I kind of said it before, but I think you have this, you now have data points, everybody's into this word data, for those in the legislature who are, prove, give me the facts. This is a really interesting conversation. With low fuel prices, you've hit the incentive level that is really driving the market. And I just think that's an incredible thing. I would also say you used the word, or not the word, the level at 30%. And that's an interesting number because in the solar business of which I am, it's I don't want to talk about tax credits, but it's that 30% reduction in price that a tax credit gives you. It's funny, that's what's really driven the market. Now we're moving back into 26 and 22%. It's amazing how that's affecting, at least locally here on a small residential level, that's hurting it. Mm-hmm. And it's funny that it's that same 30% cost saving number that really makes things happen.
Yeah.
So for those reps or people that we might run into who seem to be, against this incentive deal, and then you add on all the other stuff that you said, which is, job creation, money staying in state. I just don't understand how we cannot support. I don't understand the mindset that cannot support.
Yeah.
So,
but either.
Everybody here knows that.
Well, it's now 1 o'clock, and I just want to make sure that I wanted to thank Melanie for presenting, not only about her program Heat Squad, but presenting us with real ideas about how we can further sort of, how to, with our legislatures, and ideas on furthering the cause of what's driving a lot of this right now. And so thank you. And I will, once you have a chance to send me some information, I will be following up with everyone and making sure that you receive both a link to today's presentation, either if you want to share it with someone, it will also be up on the WRC website. And I just want to thank everybody for coming today, and I look forward to having further energy conversations.
Thank you.